Most men secretly believe that the more effort they give, the more a woman will love them. They text more, call more, sacrifice more, but all they're doing is suffocating her desire. Because here's the brutal truth. When you try to win her, you lose her. But the moment you step back, when you control your emotions, stay grounded, and stop chasing, her mind starts to flip. She feels a pull she can't explain. Her obsession grows, not because you begged for it, but because you no longer need it. Machiavelli never spoke about love directly, but he revealed the ultimate principle that rules modern attraction. Power belongs to the man who controls his need, not the one who surrenders to it. And that's exactly what you'll master in this video. Stay until the end, because each part will show you how to reverse the power dynamic completely, no matter where you stand right now. Remember this: desire follows power. Power follows control. Now, let's begin. 1. Stop explaining. The more you justify yourself, the weaker you become. One of the deadliest mistakes men make is trying to constantly prove their worth. The more you explain yourself, the more you apologize, the more you justify your presence, the faster your power evaporates. Machiavelli deeply understood this principle. He warned, "The one who needs, loses." Because neediness is weakness, and weakness destroys desire. Emotional power flips the moment you stop defending yourself. When you eliminate the urge to convince, you instantly reverse the psychological frame. She starts chasing what she can't fully control. Picture this: you meet a woman who just broke up with her ex. Every guy around her is trying to be her emotional savior. They comfort her, validate her, offer advice, desperate to win her trust. But you simply listen. You smile. You remain fully detached from her emotional storm. You don't offer solutions. You don't try to fix her. And because you refuse to enter her emotional drama, she becomes fascinated. Why? Because you're the only man she can't pull into her chaos. Now imagine this for men in a relationship. Your girlfriend finds a message from another woman on your Instagram and immediately starts the usual drama. The average man would panic, justify, explain, even beg for her trust. You, instead, hold full composure. You calmly tell her, "You're free to trust me or not, but I won't argue my value." And that calm refusal to justify destabilizes her emotional control completely. She realizes she can't manipulate your frame. And that is what recenters the power back into your hands. Here's a smart play. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. Replace every justification with this internal rule: I remain the master of my emotions, always. Because power doesn't beg for validation. Power projects certainty. Now let's continue. Because what happens next is even more dangerous. She doesn't just test your words. She starts testing your mystery. 2. Make her chase what she can't fully read. How mystery creates obsession. There's one psychological trigger that few men truly master: mystery. Women aren't drawn to men who offer everything up front. They're drawn to the man they can't fully figure out. Because what's fully available becomes boring. But what's slightly out of reach triggers curiosity, tension, and obsession. Machiavelli understood this power long before modern psychology. He warned that the strongest rulers weren't the ones who explained themselves, but the ones who forced others to constantly wonder what their next move would be. When you show no urgent need, you automatically become unpredictable. And unpredictability is the seed of emotional fixation. Let's set the scene for single men. You meet a woman on Tinder. The average guy immediately showers her with compliments, suggests fancy dinner dates, sends flowers, writes long texts, and tries to impress at every turn. He thinks, if I give more, she'll want me more. You do something radically different. You suggest a simple, casual coffee. No grand declarations. No excessive flattery. You leave room for tension. You let the conversation flow naturally, but always hold back a small part of your personal world. No over-explaining. No selling yourself. And suddenly, she starts wondering, why isn't he more invested? Why does he seem so calm, so self-contained? That question alone creates emotional pull. Because when a woman can't fully read you, her mind starts playing endless loops trying to figure you out. Here's what can happen in a relationship. You're in a committed relationship. A conflict arises, maybe about something petty, like a small argument over text messages or a misunderstanding. She demands, "We need to sit down and talk for hours about this, right now." Most men fall into the emotional trap. They engage immediately, try to fix the situation, overtalk, and justify themselves, hoping to calm her storm. You, instead, hold your frame. You say calmly, "We'll talk when you're ready to have a calm conversation, not before." You refuse to get sucked into the emotional vortex. You let her process her emotions on her own timeline. And in doing so, you show something extremely rare. You are not emotionally dependent on immediate resolution. You're stable. You're centered. And most importantly, you remain an enigma she cannot fully control. Here's your next move. Deliberately create small zones of emotional ambiguity in your interactions. Even when you feel sincere emotions, don't reveal 100% of them immediately. Hold back just enough to let her imagination work. Because mystery isn't about deception, it's about strategic restraint. Machiavelli would say, "Men must appear accessible but never fully predictable." The moment you stop being entirely available, emotionally or mentally, is the moment you plant the seed of obsession inside her mind. Now let's continue. Because the deeper the mystery grows, the more your silent control becomes her obsession. 3. Control the emotional tempo, or be controlled. In every interaction, there's a hidden war most men don't see. Who controls the emotional atmosphere? Machiavelli taught that power isn't just about force. It's about setting the tone before your enemy even realizes they've entered your battlefield. When you control the emotional tempo, you control everything. Her reactions, her investment, her respect. The weak man mirrors her emotions. The powerful man makes her mirror his. Most women unconsciously test men's leadership by shifting the emotional climate, drama, sarcasm, mood swings. And most men fall into that trap by reacting. But the rare man who remains unmoved, who imposes calm where she expects chaos, becomes psychologically magnetic. Picture this if you're single. You're on a first date. The conversation is light. Then she throws in a sarcastic remark. Maybe about your job or your confidence. It's not a direct insult, but it's designed to poke your ego and test your frame. The average man becomes defensive, tries to explain himself, or turns the date into a debate. You, instead, simply smile, stay relaxed, and smoothly redirect the conversation. Anyway, back to what we were saying. No reaction, no emotional spike. Suddenly, her subconscious registers one thing. He doesn't need my validation, and I can't destabilize him. That small moment elevates you into a different psychological category. You are not like other men. Imagine this if you're in a relationship. You're attending a family dinner with your girlfriend or wife. An argument sparks between you over something small, perhaps a comment you made that she didn't like. In front of everyone, she raises her voice and tries to escalate. The average man responds emotionally, trying to fix the problem immediately, or worse, argues back, creating public drama. You, instead, remain calm. You look at her and say with quiet authority, "We don't resolve things in front of others. We'll talk later, privately." No raised voice, no public reaction. This simple move preserves your leadership, protects your image, and communicates an unshakable inner stability. Here's your next strategic solution. Always control the emotional frame. Never let her tension dictate your reactions. If she escalates emotionally, you remain steady, calm, and composed, without suppressing your presence. Lead the interaction without needing to dominate, simply by refusing to mirror her chaos. Machiavelli would say, "He who controls the rhythm of conflict controls its outcome." When you own the emotional tempo, you make her feel both safe and intrigued, because you show her a form of masculine power she rarely experiences. Now let's continue, because once you control the emotional frame, you unlock a secret power most men never access: full psychological leadership. 4. Build your world first, and she'll fight to enter it. The real secret to emotional detachment isn't pretending. It's being genuinely consumed by your own mission. Machiavelli understood this law of human nature. Men rise when their attention belongs to something greater than themselves. And when a man is fully absorbed in his mission, he projects something that women find both frustrating and deeply irresistible: indifference born from purpose. Most men make the same fatal mistake. They center their entire emotional world around the woman. They text for hours. They adjust their schedule to fit hers. They slowly dissolve their own priorities to keep her attention. And ironically, the more available they become, the less valuable they feel. True detachment doesn't mean you ignore her. It means you don't need her attention to validate your time. Picture this if you're single. While most guys are spending 5 hours a day texting, planning the perfect date, sending long voice messages to build emotional connection, you're working on your emotions, advancing your career, improving your body, studying new skills. You answer when it fits your schedule. You're available, but never waiting. And every moment you don't chase her, you force her mind to fill the silence. Why isn't he trying harder? Why am I thinking about him more than he thinks about me? Her investment rises naturally, because you're not submitting to the energy of pursuit. Let's set the scene if you're in a relationship or married. You're deeply focused on your financial investments, or mastering a skill that consumes your time. Your girlfriend or wife occasionally says, "Sometimes I feel like you care more about your business than about us." And while you give her affection, you never compromise your mission to comfort her ego. Why? Because she secretly respects and desires a man who doesn't collapse his identity for her approval. A man who leads himself is infinitely more attractive than one who asks for emotional permission. Here's your next smart play. Design your daily life so that her presence complements your purpose, not replaces it. Your projects, your goals, your peace always come first. Let her feel the pull to earn her place inside your world, because the less she controls your center, the more magnetic you become. Machiavelli would say, "The man who can govern himself governs others effortlessly." Now let's continue, because when your mission becomes your oxygen, she'll fight for every breath you give her. 5. How to create unresistible tension. The art of controlled availability. One of Machiavelli's most profound lessons is simple. Predictability kills power. In the realm of seduction, this principle transforms into an emotional law. The moment she feels fully secure, desire begins to die. A woman must never fully possess you in her mind. She must always feel there's more to win, more to uncover, more to keep fighting for. Machiavelli warned us, men should either be caressed or eliminated, because minor injuries invite revenge, while uncertainty keeps them cautious. In seduction, this means never give her full certainty. Maintain calibrated tension. Now let's explore how it plays out in real life. Picture this. You're casually dating a woman. She suggests spending the entire weekend together. Most men would enthusiastically rearrange their entire schedule, eager to please. You respond with calm control. Friday night works for me, but Saturday I'm already committed. You give just enough, but you never fully surrender your availability. And that partial access creates a psychological itch she can't scratch. Now imagine this. You're in a long-term relationship. She wants you constantly accessible, emotionally and physically. But you intentionally maintain protected areas of your life. Solo business trips, mastermind weekends, high-level trainings. She realizes you have a world that doesn't revolve entirely around her. And that subtle distance reignites her desire to reconquer your full attention. Here's your next strategic solution. Design your schedule to include deliberate gaps of personal withdrawal, not out of manipulation, but to preserve your magnetic polarity. Absence, when controlled, amplifies your presence. And now we reach the ultimate truth of this entire game. Because in the end, power doesn't belong to the one who's desired. It belongs to the one who can walk away without fear. There is a moment every man must reach. The moment when he stops negotiating for attention. The day you stop chasing is the day she starts chasing you. This isn't a trick. It's not manipulation. It's the pure law of power Machiavelli would master if he lived today. Because modern seduction isn't built on words or gifts. It's built on presence. On the gravity of a man who stands so firm. She keeps orbiting, even as she tries to pull away. Remember this. Power doesn't beg. It doesn't justify. It doesn't negotiate. It simply exists. And those who fail to control their hunger will always kneel before those who do. Every man faces the same crossroads. Stop chasing. Stop explaining. Stop negotiating for love. Real power moves on its own terms. While others panic, you stay grounded. While others beg, you stay focused. While others need validation, you keep building. Women don't crave neediness. They crave sovereignty. The calm authority of a man who can walk away and lose nothing. Whether you're single, married, rising, or rebuilding. One rule remains. The man who masters detachment masters desire. Detach, not to punish her. Detach to protect your throne. Because once you become the man who needs no one, everyone starts needing you. The ones who ignored you start chasing. The ones who tested you fear losing access. The ones who played games fight for your presence. This isn't romance. This is command. The highest form of attraction. You now know the path. Walk it, and don't look back. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.